Hello, Vincent Carroll speaking. This is tutorial number 38, sleep from an acupuncture perspective. Sleep must be one of the commonest reasons why people come to see an acupuncturist. Certainly in my clinic, many people would present because they have an inability to sleep. But it's not straightforward. Sleep, you must divide it when you take a case history between reasons of excess and reasons of deficiency. Plainly, if a person had an argument before they're going to bed, they're not going to sleep. They may be thinking about it, and that'll be very much a matter of perhaps liver yang rising, and liver yang rising is going to prevent sleep occurring because your mind might be in an angry phase as you're ruminating on what might have happened and might be the source of your anger. And on top of that, if the yang has consumed the yin might be rising, causing you the migraine headache, the tinnitus, or all the other signs and symptoms of yang rising, because yin might have been a bit deficient. So one of the reasons of excess, therefore, why a person isn't going to sleep, perhaps, is their mental state trying to get to sleep. But then, of course, many people fail to sleep or fail to stay asleep because of deficiencies. You can be deficient in blood, you can be deficient in yin, and they are technically a little bit different, although there's a lot of yin and blood overlap, obviously. So a person, for example, who has blood deficiency, particularly heart blood deficiency, is going to have a difficulty getting to sleep. A person who has a yin deficiency is going to have a difficulty staying asleep. But I find in my practice, most people have huge overlap. Very many people who can't get to sleep fail to stay asleep. So they wake up with a complete lack of refreshment. And of course, then you have a vicious cycle, because if you have a lack of refreshment, you have a lack of spleen qi. Spleen is the root of everything, including blood. And therefore, the person is going to lack heart blood, because spleen qi, the spleen, the root of heaven qi, forms all blood and all qi ultimately. So because of that, if your spleen qi fails, you're going to have a blood loss, and that's going to create greater sense of awakeness and an inability to fall asleep. The person, of course, who's yin deficient, if they wake up, their mind is going to race in a negative speculative way, because that's part of yin deficiency, the purposeless movement of the physical body and the purposeless movement of the mind. So in bed, the person is going to be tossing and turning, they're going to be uncomfortable and agitated. Their mind is also going to be agitated. This is classic yin deficiency. A person who has simple blood deficiency, heart blood deficiency, is not going to be able to fall asleep, but eventually when they get to sleep, to stay asleep. And of course, there are many people like that, but people who are often heart blood deficient often then slip in to a yin deficiency. Of course, you need to attach an organ to it as well, be it heart yin deficiency or liver yin deficiency, and there's a difference. Because the person I find who's often liver yin deficient may verbalize at night, may be having vivid dreams, now they're vivid, purposeless dreams. The person who's liver yang in excess might have liver focused dreams, where there might be a specific anger or a specific sense of violence within the dream, whereas the person who's liver yin deficient is going to be somebody perhaps who tosses and turns, speaks, is a very light sleeper, might sit up, might lie down, might even get out of bed, might even sleepwalk. And these are signs and symptoms of deficiency rather than excess of a liver yin deficiency, at least in my experience. Now, of course, you can also have a liver yang rising, as we said, and that is a totally different situation that we've already spoken about, which is yang rising, and that person's simply going to be angry, and of course their dreams are also going to be of an angry and a vivid and a very sort of lots of movement, lots of activity, and distress. The person will remember their dreams. So getting back then to the division between excess and deficiency, the person who has excess generally is liver blazing. Now, a person with heart fire blazing as well, is another form of excess, and they're not going to get to sleep either. They're going to be lying there thinking perhaps excessive ideas about doing things, which from their point of view are completely attainable, but from everybody else's point of view is not attainable at all, because they're in overdrive. They have the heart fire blazing, and not sleeping is very much part of that. With liver fire blazing, of course, is anger and it's blazing, and again, that's going to be an impediment to sleep. But most people who come have a sense of deficiency, because the person who's angry is going to simply know that they are angry and they can't sleep because of, their sense of injustice that they believe they're experiencing. The person who's heart fire blazing has no idea anyway. So therefore, the person who is that comes to you very likely is somebody with a deficiency, and it's a question of, is it a yin deficiency or is it a blood deficiency? And it's usually heart blood. We have a lovely expression in acupuncture that we're all very familiar with, the concept of the mind being a residence. In other words, that blood is the residence of the mind. Blood is the residence of the mind. So if you tonify blood, heart blood that is, you give the mind a residence. And of course you tonify heart blood with heart 7. So people often perhaps wonder, if you're trying to sleep, why you tonify? Well, you tonify to create a matrix that resorbs the mind into that matrix, and that is heart blood. So if you tonify heart blood, you provide a platform that allows the mind to be resorbed into the heart blood. And in the language of acupuncture, we give the mind a residence. And I think that's a lovely sort of expression to use, giving the mind a residence. In liver blood, the same thing occurs if you tonify liver blood as well. Now with heart blood, you use heart 7, which of course is the source point. With liver blood, you might be inclined to simply tonify all blood so that heart blood comes up. But very often liver blood is deficient because the liver fails to release it, because the liver is invading the liver. So therefore liver 8 bilaterally would be a good point to use there. So try to determine from the history, is the person heart blood deficient or liver blood deficient? The vast majority, I feel, are heart blood deficient, and they simply can't get to sleep. They lie awake, they don't know why they're lying awake, they try counting sheep and doing everything else, and it still doesn't work. And the reason for that is the mind doesn't have a residence. So heart 7, I always, of course, like most of us, combine it with pericardium 6. Heart 7 one side, pericardium 6 the other side, simply because those two are a wonderful combination and they will work very well. But of course, if the person is liver blood, you need other evidence, and the other evidence might be the sort of vivid dreams, technicolor, a sense of perhaps agitation in bed at night, moving and talking and even getting up and sleepwalking and that sort of stuff. So those are sort of the deficiencies associated with preventing sleep from occurring. So therefore ask yourself, when somebody comes, my starting point is this asleep? Is the person not sleeping due to a deficiency or due to an excess? If it's an excess, you simply drain down and take away, and that's sort of an easy thing to do. The person needs insight into why they're angry or why the mind is in overdrive. If it's heart 8, of course, or if it's heart fire blazing, crash it down at heart 8. If it's liver yang rising, pull it all down with probably liver 2, gallbladder 43, or anywhere else, or any other yang channels that the liver is rising in. For example, it can spill over into, of course, the gallbladder and into the urinary bladder channel, and of course the Sanjay channel as well. So drag it all down and get rid of it and calm the mind as well. There's never any harm doing a pericardium 6. In fact, it's usually the right thing to do anyway, but there's usually no harm doing a heart 7 either, because I feel if somebody's liver blood deficiency, very often there's a heart blood deficiency there as well. And while you don't get total benefit by doing heart 7 for a very simple reason, you have to go and also tonify liver. Nonetheless, if liver blood is deficient, very often heart blood is deficient as well. Very often all blood might be deficient simply because the spleen has been so undermined in not producing sort of what blood, be it heart or be it liver. So therefore, when you divide into reasons for excess and reasons of deficiency. And the reason of deficiency are either a blood deficiency or a yin deficiency. And the person with yin deficiency is going to show other evidence of yin deficiency during their daytime living. So they might be sort of have difficulty in completing tasks. They might have a sense of purposeless movement of the body, doing tasks and not completing tasks, purposeless movement of the mind as they speculate in a negative speculative way. And of course, it's that negative speculation that keeps them awake in bed at night when they do wake up. And because heart blood and heart yin are so closely interrelated, that getting to sleep and staying asleep are often sort of two sides of the same issue, in the sense that it all comes under insomnia, leading to a gross sense of tiredness in the morning. And that tiredness, of course, is a yin wipeout. It can go right down to a kidney yin deficiency. But also the root of post-heaven chi is also down, and it's not tonified, it's not sort of creating blood, because it's not creating chi, because it's not creating anything, because it's diminished, it is deficient. So therefore these are lines of questioning that you must ask. But the basic division is this person not sleeping because of excess or because of deficiency? Is this person able to sleep and just wakes up and can't sleep can't get back to sleep, or is it somebody that just can't get to sleep in the first place, or is it a combination of both? And so therefore, are we talking in terms of deficiency? Is it a blood deficiency, or is it a yin deficiency? And then which organ is involved? Is it heart, or is it liver? So while it might appear an extremely easy thing to do to sort of tonify up sort of if somebody, the heart blood by heart 7, if somebody can't sleep, it's not always the correct solution, is the first thing I would say. Also try other points like yin tang, and mian is a very good point as well, just sort of off the back of the ear. Try those points also, pericardium 6 and heart 7, where appropriate, are very, very good points indeed. Thank you very much.